Well, so let me take your unicorn question first. It's almost for sure that in that group, there are probably a few that will be outlier winners long term, and quite a few that may not, that may disappoint, is my best guess. But the thing is that depending on your frameworks and circle of competence and what you understand, like I'll give you an example. So let's take something like food delivery. Okay, so some of my friends who are very good investors, they just tell me this whole food delivery business is total nonsense. Okay, it's very heavy logistics business. You have to have people, you got to do all this point to point stuff, all this stuff going on, and the restaurants are all upset because they have to give you 30% and all of that. So there's a lot of issues there. But the thing is, if you fast forward maybe 10 or 20 years, the situation could be quite different. So we are going through I mean, you're not going through so much habit change in India. I think in the rest of the world, there's a much bigger habit change. But in India, you always had the ability for some random restaurant to deliver your food at home. And so in the US, when I first came to the US, the only thing you could get delivered was pizza in terms of food. That was the only food delivery available. And now everything can be delivered to you. And, there are ventures like Cloud Kitchen and all of these things where they're working on the logistics, right? So there's one big warehouse which has got like 30, 40 different kitchens, and then maybe a drive-through in the middle, and the driver will maybe pick up 30 orders at one shot, and there'll be a very high density that 3 buildings he's delivering all 30 orders and so on. So it could change quite radically in terms of scale in the years, and then at that point brand matters and such. So it's possible that the top 2-3 food delivery guys in the end become incredible businesses, and they become a lot bigger than where they are today, and so on and so forth. What my take on all this is that there's no need to have envy or scratch your head or even try to say I need to figure out which one over here. Things need to be, at the end, they need to be a no-brainer. So when you're making an investment, in the end, before you make the investment, it has to be a no-brainer. Like I told you that even at 700 billion, I don't consider Tencent overvalued. And that's because I looked at all the pieces, what's inside those businesses, and kind of where things are going and so on. And there's just too many ways for them to win and too few ways for them to lose. So anyway, so the thing is, I think that the bottom line is that, you can look at these unicorns. You can, in most cases, they won't make any sense. Once in a while, you might find something where you have some experience and the pricing or whatever else might make sense. And maybe it makes sense at that point. But if you can live a very good life and you can actually be a very successful investor without making any of those bets. So it's perfectly fine. There's 100 different ways to move on.